Today on Smell the Coffee, we are literally back to school and we are embracing the difficult subjects, math and science. So stick around as I keep you entertained and also educated. I'm your host, Glenora Shipura.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
I'm now joined by Frank Mungunda, one of the co-founders of Platonic Academy in Namibia and also the CEO. Good morning and welcome to Smell the Coffee.
Morning, Glenn. I'm happy to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure for us to be here. We love your establishment. It's lovely. It looks beautiful. It gives the aesthetics of what an academic institution should be. Getting into that, what inspired you and your wife to found this beautiful school?
Yeah, I'm happy that you like the atmosphere here. That was the idea. Yeah, I think thinking back as to what triggered us or what inspired us to come up with this, it was birthed from passion. You know, I stumbled into it myself. My wife has gone into education. She studied that, but I stumbled into it by helping out at the school where she was teaching. And then when I got to know how it works, I got curious and I wanted to see how best we can add value to it. And this is one of the ways we want to establish that.
I like that. And you guys established yourselves in 2019 and it's still fairly very young school, but it feels like you guys have moved miles in a short span of time. Can you tell us about your process thus far, some of the challenges you have faced and obstacles you have overcome so far?
Yeah, like you said, we're still in our infancy, but we've got the grace of speed, eh? So because we're really giving it our all, we realized very soon that we can't establish that on our own. So we started building a team together. So we've got a principal, we've got some young teachers. Actually, all of them are scientists. There was a time I was thinking about writing an article, The Uneducated Educator. Yeah.
The uneducated educator. Very interesting. The uneducated educator. What does that even mean?
It was more from a point whereby scientists have the subject content, but they still have to go through the methodology, the pedagogy, and I'm actually a prodigy of that. From my wife's side, she taught me how to teach, how to, transfer this knowledge to the students and so on. So coming back to what really inspired us in moving with this speed of grace is the passion. And we always try to align with the vision as to the bigger picture, as to where we want this to be, having a meaningful impact on youth development by inspiring, empowering, and transforming these youngsters. So we give it our all, but the challenges are there. It's beyond the classroom. It's dealing with the business aspect of it as well. And this is actually a very special year for us. This very same property where we are, we've been renting here for 2 years, and this year we're actually proud owners of this property. So that's a very big milestone for us. And we thank God for that. We thank our parents, our learners for that support, that they feel this vision. And, with that comes challenges, with every dimension. But we always focus on why we do this. That's what carries us through all of that. But we're overcoming them by the grace of God.
It looks like that, certainly indeed. I would want to ask, I know that you guys fairly very young, but one thing that I liked about what you guys are doing, you've already started forming partnerships. Could we get into some of the partnerships you have done? I know that you have a partnership with the school, and there's also other partnerships that I can't, mention off my mind, but can you get into some of that?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. I'm a firm believer of collaboration instead of competition, especially in the Namibian context. We are such a small population of just 3 million people. So it makes no sense to compete. So with partnership, with stakeholder engagement, we have several. Locally, it's the two main universities in Namibia, the Namibian University of Science and Technology, known as NUST, as well as the Namibian University, which is UNAM. So we approach these two institutions to say that we would like to work together with them. They've got the state-of-the-art lab equipment, and they welcomed us. So we started our first pilot project with UNAM, where we took these young learners to these wonderful labs, and we're working on to get some of them here at the academy. But they had this exposure. They could be working with this equipment. They could see what it feels like. Some of them are even looking forward to, getting to the university. That's one part of it. In terms of the exam body that we have have a partnership with, it's the German private school known as the DHBS in short. So they follow the Cambridge curriculum, and that's what we stand for. It gives international exposure to the learners we're working with. So they are our exam body, where our candidates write as private candidates through that same exam body. So that's a very good relationship. We've been together with them for just over 3 years now. This is the biggest group that we have with them, and not just to talk about local partnership, globally as well. So I had the privilege to be in Europe for 6 months with study commitments under the Youth for Green Hydrogen Scholarship that was funded by BMBF and implemented by SASCAL, supported by the Namibian government. And with this, I had exposure not just to the prestige universities on that side, but also through conferences and events that are relating to the science and the STEM program, maths program that we are following. So we've made some good networks, and I'm excited because there's something that we're working on that is on skills and capacity building, where we'll also have that collaboration from the global players as well. So that's quite exciting. So as I said, it's all about collaborating and moving this together. Reminds me of the African proverbs that says that if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together.
I love that proverb, actually, and I believe that that's what we should stand for, especially when you're doing a big, massive undertaking like what you guys are doing here. Can you tell us some of the methodologies that you are applying to ensure that the students get the best in terms of their academic pursuits?
Yeah, it's actually where we come in with that unorthodox approach to education, meaning that we try to go against the flow, for a lack of a better word, but it is basically based on a pragmatic approach. There's this saying that you remember 30% of what you see, 60% of what you see and hear, and 90% of what you see, hear, and do. So the doing part is our emphasis. So the bigger picture, the bigger idea, the vision that we have is to have a very, very practical, pragmatic approach to our teaching, where these learners should already start with research and development at a tender age. The word has it that most of the big inventions were always between the age of 16 and 26. So we don't want to limit them to that. So that's the idea. So this is just the beginning of that.
I love that. I love that. Now, before I let you go briefly, can you tell us of any innovations or great projects that you guys are currently busy with?
I would say being part of the Youth for Green Hydrogen Scholarship and having been equipped, empowered, and also been transformed with all the knowledge, understanding that I got through this exposure in Europe. One of the low-hanging fruits for us are on the skills and capacity building in the energy sector. So we're trying our best to collaborate with industries, with other institutions, to see how best we can work together and add value to that. And our focus is on the grassroots roots levels, which means the secondary school. In a lot of instances, they are normally neglected, like, you know, it's from the undergrad to the postgrad and then going forward. So we are already starting to talk with some of the institutions to say, let's take part of that sector. You don't need to do a breaching course. Let's get to the quality that we can feed to your system so that we make sure. So that's one of the projects, or one of the things that we are trying to advocate for.
I totally love that. Where were you guys when we were in school? We'll be right back with more Smell the Coffee.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
I'm now joined by Amanda Mungunda, one of the co-founders at Platonic Academy Namibia, and also the managing director here. Good morning and welcome to Smell the Coffee.
Morning. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having us. Like I already said to your husband, we love the place. We are loving the atmosphere that you've created for your students here. What would you say sets you guys apart in terms of science and mathematics, in terms of your methodologies that you use to teach the kids?
Okay, so I think what sets us apart, besides being a science institution, is the Christian foundation that we lay with the kids. And we teach for understanding and not memorizing. So that's what sets us apart. And our teachers really go in depth. The fact that we have young scientists as teachers here or tutors here, it makes it very interesting. And for the math tutors here, they have specialized in mathematics. So they really have a deep understanding in the subject. And what makes it different and interesting here as well is the fact that kids come from different schools. So with their different experiences, they come and blend in, and they also do peer teaching with one another. You'll find kids from St. Paul's mingling with kids from Hage Geingob, kids from Delta, kids from VIS. So it's really just a beautiful scenery to see, where kids come from different places and they come and mingle here. So it's also a social hub for the kids.
I love that. Kudos to you guys for doing that, for creating not a competitive environment, but a conducive environment where everybody is coming together to learn.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about some of the methods that you adopt in terms of teaching the full-time students and also the part-time students? Because I understand that there's the full-time students and then there's the kids that come after school.
Yeah, so with the full-time students, the method we have adapted is that our focus is on the science subjects. So from grade 8 already, the child specializes in the science subjects, including the languages with computer studies, because computer studies complements the science subjects. So from grade 8, the child already starts off with physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, English, and computer studies. So they don't do any other subjects, but they specialize in science from grade 8 onwards. And then with our part-time kids, what we do is also to try and put the kids in the clusters where they belong, because like here in the Commerce region, we have like 4 clusters. So we try to put the kids in the clusters where they belong. Like, for example, we'll put the Yanmore kids with kids from Ashipena, and then the kids from St. Paul's, we'll put them with the kids from St. George's. So we put them with the clusters that they work with, so that it's easier for the teachers to teach them as a group based on what they are doing at school, seeing that they would write the same examinations within the clusters.
Getting to the broader context, what role do you see Platonic Academy playing in the education sector in Namibia in the next couple of years?
The role that Platonic Academy plays in the education sector is that we complement what the government is already doing and the private schools are already doing. And our role is basically just to empower the kids, because kids normally have a fear for the math and science subjects, but we try to make them love the subject. Like I remember I had a boy, his name was Lucas, his mom was very worried, and she came to a point where she did not want him to do science anymore, but Lucas managed to pass his grade 11 year with an A in mathematics for a child that was forever just getting 30-something%, and that for me is very fulfilling. So kids that come without hope, and then they gain hope and they gain confidence in the subject. So that's what makes it very interesting and yeah.
Where were you guys during our high school years? I struggled with math. I hated math. but I think it was that gap in terms of just finding people who are as passionate as you guys are about the subject. Because now I'm like, actually, math wasn't so bad. I just didn't have the right motivating factors around me. You guys definitely are doing that. Can you tell the viewers where they can find you guys? And I'm sure there's parents out there that are, you know, hoping to enroll their children, what that process would look like as well if they're interested.
So the parents can find us here in Pioneers Park, Rickman Street, close to Total Service Station. And they can also contact my husband on the number 081-2058-011, 081-2058-011. So you just send him a WhatsApp requesting for information about the academy, and he will send you the relevant information to get to our website and all that. So yeah.
Just to expand a little bit on that, your intake, are you guys having an intake for next year now, or can anybody, you know, join any time of the year? How does that work?
So our intake will starting now from November to December. The registrations will start now, but then within the year we also don't limit, but you will see the difference with kids that start with us from the beginning of the year and kids that join within the year. So the kids that start with us from the beginning of the year, their confidence is different, their understanding is different. So we would advise that parents try to join us now towards the end of the year so that you have a spot for the following year, because the demand is quite high and we cannot take in everybody because our classes are only 16 learners per class. So we don't want to overcrowd the classes so that kids are given the attention that they need.
Any final words that you would like to say to the audience before I let you go?
The final words I would love to say to the audience is that mathematics and science is not as complicated as they make it seem, and it can open doors. People that do math and science problem solvers. So I believe that people should really look forward to coming to the academy and experiencing what we are doing here. And Namibia is getting into the science space with this green hydrogen coming up. We encourage kids to join and to be part of this new journey that is coming up in the country.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
We'll be right back with more Smell the Coffee. I'm here with one of the bright young minds at Platonic Academy in Namibia, and he's here to share with us his experience at this beautiful establishment. Good morning and welcome to Smell the Coffee. Can you tell us your experience so far at the academy?
At the academy, like, it's at first of the year, like, it was welcoming because the teachers were welcoming, but as the year progressed, we grew as, let me say, as a family. Because as the perspective of the teachers being like our school parents, because they care for us as they, like, as we do in tests, they notice our weak points and our strong points, but we mainly focus on the weak points.
So you strengthen what you're struggling with. I love that. I love that. Can you tell me a brief highlight of your experience so far?
My experience, like, in the beginning of the year, I was first in my class, but as the year progressed, the content became more difficult to understand, but practice makes perfect. So
I I love that. Those are words to live by. Practice makes perfect. All right, we'll be right back with more Small the Coffee.
As the holiday season draws near, ShopRite and Synergy Chatbot are bringing the Christmas spirit to you. Watch out for Santa's wish list and buy your favourite newspaper on Monday the 18th of November to send your wish list to Santa.
Today is all about celebrating and embracing math and sciences on Small the Coffee. I'm now joined by Peter, the principal at Platonic Academy in Namibia. Good morning and welcome to Small the Coffee.
Morning, miss. Yes, thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you found yourself here at this wonderful academy?
Well, my background in terms of academics or education, I have an honors degree in chemistry. I have a postgraduate diploma in secondary education majoring in chemistry and mathematics, and then I'm currently doing my MBA right now. So I started here.
Wow, so impressive. Okay, you started here?
I started here last year. This is actually my first job, and then started as a teacher, and then we became on to becoming a principal since last year.
Now, can you tell us what sets Platonic Academy Namibia apart from other institutions?
Yes, what sets us apart is the STEM and Christian-based focus. At Platonic, we are mainly focused on the STEM subjects and then with a Christian background. The STEM subjects allows us to prepare learners for the global technology that we are going into right now in terms of the science, engineering and health. So whatever we do, we are only focused in mathematics, physics, chemistry and biology. And also now the Christian part fosters that we prepare learners who are morally and ethical ready for the community.
For the workforce. Yes, I love that you guys have that.
Yes.
And which brings me into my next question. How do you foster an environment that grows the learners academically and also personally? I know you touched on the biblical values that the school embodies, but what other elements do you say contributes to this?
One, again, benefit or something that sets us apart was that our staff, they are qualified professionals, meaning that all the staffs that are at Platonic are scientists. Mostly 90% of our staffs are scientists. So a person who's teaching mathematics has an honors degree in mathematics. So they are able to teach throughout. So in that now it gives, even when learners are learning from this, they are learning from professionals who are qualified and then who are passionate about the subjects that they are teaching.
I love that. I love that. What would you say you see for Platonic Academy Namibia in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, as we say, we are STEM-based. We are growing in terms of how can we support, especially the industry, the market that we're coming, the green hydrogen industry. So we are looking at providing the workforce that is coming up in terms of engineers. Platonic will be supplying all those upcoming.
And the scientists and the
Yes.
mathematicians. I'm really excited for what you guys are doing here. I mean, where were you guys when we were in school? Yeah, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, we'll be right back with more Small the Coffee. Now that's it from us on the Small the Coffee. We visited Platonic Academy in Namibia, a wonderful institution that made me realize that I actually did love math and sciences, and I hope that you had as much of a good time as I did. From me, Glenna Rashipura, until next time.